And joining us from Saco, Maine. Please welcome Sarah, Kelly, and Leah Robert. Thank you so much for joining us. What an
Yeah.
inspiring story, every part of it. Sarah, you recently celebrated being 5 years cancer free, hitting that milestone and having your sister at your side every single step of the way. What does that mean for you?
It was everything. I
Mm.
mean, I don't know how I could have gotten through it without her. We have another sister too, and just having sisters, it's a relationship you can't explain.
Mm. You know, you learned that you had not only an aggressive form of breast cancer, a very rare form of breast cancer. You were 8 months pregnant at the time. Just reading that, I could tell I could just break down crying just reading that because I can't even understand the fear and the worry that must have been coursing through your veins and every thought of the day. Um, but you have a sister who is in the medical profession. And not only that, she's an oncologist nurse. I mean, did you instantly think, I've got to lean in on her because she's going to be able
Oh,
to help me to get through this?
yeah, most definitely. I mean, as soon as I felt the lump in my breast, honestly, I was like, who would I call right now? And it would be Leah.
Mm.
She's that person. And so I called her. She got me through that first week when I was diagnosed. And then every time I had a question or
Mm.
was scared or however, I mean, she's my best friend as
Yeah.
well as my sister. So it's that person that you go to.
Leah, when you got that call and Sarah told you that this is the diagnosis or this is what she'd be facing, what goes through your mind? Especially again, you're her sister, her sibling, but you're also a medical professional, very versed on the stats, the numbers, and what she would be
Mm.
facing.
Yeah, I mean, I think knowledge is power, obviously, but as an oncology nurse, and I think with any healthcare professional, when it comes to your family being diagnosed, you're like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, what? And you kind of have to take a step back and knowing Sarah's diagnosis of being triple negative, being stage 3, and then on top of being pregnant. Obviously, I think the first thing that was going through my mind is my sister and my parents
Mm.
and our other siblings. I mean, when you talk about a diagnosis, it's about the patient, but it's truly about their whole family and how just that affects a community and your friends and family. And I was scared, to be honest. Obviously, like what Sarah
Did you
said. I
fight
mean,
to
we're
not
best
show your
friends.
fear? I mean, listen, many of us, for right or for wrong, end up going on, google.com and looking up something. She's calling you, you're giving her the information that you know, but were you also trying to mask your fear to help bolster her strength?
Yes,
Mm.
and as her little sister, that's sometimes hard to hide. I think Sarah can read me very well. But well, there was a moment we were around my kitchen table when I first got the call, and everyone was kind of like, "All right, we're gonna get through this." And then she started crying, and I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that right now? I'm
I'm
gonna
not
be
supposed to be
okay."
crying.
What do you know that I don't know? Yeah, I mean, thank God, my community of nurses and friends were kind of my rock. I could lean on them when Sarah was sick because every time I showed a little bit of fear or
Mm.
sadness, I mean, my parents would call me up and be like, what does this mean? What did her scan mean? Why does
Oh,
it say this? Why did the doctor say this? And I was just
wow.
that sounding board for everybody, which I'm so happy I was able to be that person, but it was so hard at the same time.
Leah, you said as a redhead, you and your sister always stood out. And then when Sarah lost her hair during the treatments, that like so many people who are survivors of cancer and who experience that hair loss, that she lost her part of her identity.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, we couldn't even go through the grocery store without somebody commenting because my mom's a redhead, my sister, obviously, and myself. And we always felt bad for our middle sister because she has brown hair. But yeah, losing your hair is definitely the most visible traumatic thing that a patient or someone can go through when they're being diagnosed, and it's a psychological burden on their lifestyle. And I feel like when I saw Sarah lose her hair, her eyelashes, her eyebrows, she didn't recognize herself in the mirror, and I think seeing that really just kind of hit
Mm.
home. So I was like, well, how can I help my sister? Like, what is that one thing that that I can bring to her that'll make her feel beautiful again from
Aw.
the inside and out? So, I mean, that's kind of how Salty Girl Beauty was.
So you got her a lip color?
Conceived.
Is that you so you got her a bright lipstick, a coral color?
Yeah. Yeah, I brought over this bright coral color, and Sarah is not a bright person. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like the red lipstick and Sarah's more of the, more neutrals. So when she looked at that lipstick at first, she was like, are you kidding me, girlfriend? But she put that color on, and let me tell you, she just lit up the room. I remember we went out for lunch, and she had her big, what we call Jackie O sunglasses, this beautiful scarf on her head,
Mhm.
and that coral lipstick. And she was coming alive again.
Oh my god, so Sarah, what was it like when you put that lipstick on? I mean, Leah said from her perspective, she could see what it was doing instantly.
mean, I was I I talk about how I looked at the treatment room one day and was like, "Oh, I feel so bad for everyone that's so
Mm.
sick in here." And then going back to my house and looking at myself in the mirror and saying, "Oh, wait, you're one of those sick people too. Who are you kidding?" And especially when you don't have eyelashes. And I always like my eyes were always that like feature that I really liked about myself. And so without eyelashes, I was kind of like, well, who is this person? And then when you put the lipstick on that first time, and it was a bright color and it wasn't who I normally was, it kind of I did. I recognized myself again and
Aw.
I was like, okay, we can get through this.